From the studios of Warren Tech North, this is Building Bright Futures, a Jeffco podcast with Jeffco Superintendent Dan McMenemy.
I'm Dan McMenemy. On this podcast, we're going to delve into one of the most important aspects of Jeffco's nationally known outdoor ed program. My guest is Heather Rutledge, Program Coordinator for Outdoor Education Laboratory Schools in Jeffco. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you.
Our outdoor lab schools have a long and colorful history in Jeffco. In fact, I went to Outdoor Lab when I was at Hackberry Hill Elementary.
So Outdoor Lab has been around for 60 years. We've had more than 6,000 sixth graders go through each year. So if you do the math, we have over 350,000 alumni that go through each week. In addition to them, we have 1,000 high school students that come up each year that serve as our leaders. So we have a large impact and a large group up there, as well as many alumni that come back to help, that support, serve on boards, that we've got many people that love the program and come back to help it.
Well, it's a fantastic program. In fact, I've heard people describe it as one of the jewels in the Jeffco treasury. And so it's a very cool program. Why is it important for Jeffco students to have this experience as part of their learning, and how does that learning typically take place?
I think the most important thing with Outdoor Lab is it's an opportunity for all students. So regardless of your physical abilities, your mental abilities, your academic levels, it's an opportunity for everyone. We don't specify any group. We guide every student through a successful week. And as far as academics, we take what they're learning in the classroom and what's in the CAP and what teachers are asked to teach, apply it to the class, apply it to that setting. So we're taking what they know, putting it into what they're learning and be able to give them that hands-on experience and the ability to really see it in action. So what they're learning in science, we have 4 classes. We have our biosphere, hydrosphere, geosphere, and force and motion class that applies to their science concepts. As a teacher, formerly teaching 6th grade, it was nice to know coming up to Outdoor Lab what to have them look for, and then they can really utilize those inquiry skills, and then when they come back, they have something to apply that to.
Well, and I think that's something that's unique about this program is it really is an extension of the classroom. It's not just a week-long camping trip where kids go and hang out. They have purposeful things that they do every single day and leaders that are trained by you that are able to take them through that learning and really be able to bring it back and say, wow, I've not only read about that, but now I've experienced that. And I think that's one of the unique aspects of Jeffco's Outdoor Lab program.
And I think the leaders, too, that come up with so many different programs that we have in Jeffco that, especially within the science realm, that they're excited about, how the water systems work. And the 6th graders see that from those mentors that, this is so cool and how this works together. And they have all that knowledge that they're applying that in a way that is very unique to most high school experiences.
I agree. I think that's one of the other important aspects is we use high school students to help teach the younger kids too, so I think there's tremendous investment in there. And you even told me before we started talking that you had that experience as a high schooler, so That's really cool. We have incredible facilities for our students to visit and use, Windy Peak and Mount Evans, and they each have their own unique characteristics. Please explain.
All right, so Windy is located outside of Bailey. Since the 1800s, it started out as a cattle ranch, with the homesteaders coming out there, and then it was turned into a guest ranch that people would come and visit because it's beautiful up there. Then it was turned into a summer camp, Sylvania of the Rockies, and then it was sold in the 70s to Jeffco Outdoor Lab. It has smaller cabins as opposed to the big dormitory, so we have a lot of original cabins up there. One of them has a fireplace in it that was an original guest part of the guest ranch, and then we have the astronomy lab up there that the Kiwanis Club has helped us with. So with Windy Peak, we've got that. And then up at Mount Evans, and they're located outside of Evergreen. It was formerly the Dodge Family Ranch. So you have the Dodge Lodge up there, which is pretty cool to go through. A lot of kids and a lot of teachers that used to stay in there think it's haunted. Haven't confirmed any of that. The kids up there stay in dormitory-style cabins, so they're a little bit larger. So a little bit more community feel with that one. At both sites during the flag ceremony, they have located the flags where they can look out and see a beautiful view. At Windy Peak, you look at the castle. At Mount Evans, you can see multiple peaks across the meadow. Both sites have incredible trails and hikes. There's things you love about each. As a 6th grade teacher, my kids would always ask me, which site do you like better? And I always tell them whatever one I'm going up to that year, so they would know. But both sites, I think, our staff strive that regardless of what site you go to, it's a community, and people aren't just guests or visitors there. They're part of the community when they get there. So our students and our leaders and our teachers and visitors, anyone that comes up, that's the same at both sites.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing more about Outdoor Lab with you after a quick break.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
We're back with Heather Rutledge, Program Coordinator for Outdoor Education Laboratory Schools in Jeffco. Heather, tell us about your background and how you came to Jeffco.
I was a Jeffco product myself, starting out at Westgate Elementary and then alumni of Bear Creek High School. Actually, I had no intention of becoming a teacher or going into education until I became or was an Outdoor Lab leader myself during high school. So that's how I came to Outdoor Lab, started off in Jeffco. After college, I came back to Colorado and got lucky enough to get a job teaching sixth grade. They told me, take whatever job you can get, hope for the best. And I wanted sixth grade, and I got it. So I taught for 10 years at Prospect Valley in the Wheat Ridge area, and then took the role on as a program coordinator. A lot missing the classroom, but also seeing the importance of the Outdoor Lab program and how much work and effort it takes as a teacher and being able to support teachers so that way my classroom really is across the district and the teachers that are out there and help them have the success that I had with my class so that all students are able to have that success up there.
Tell us about the staff at Outdoor Lab schools. What does a typical day look like for the staff?
Well, if you asked either of our principals, Rob or David, at either site, they would tell you that if you like to work 8-hour days, you'd love working at Outdoor Lab because you get 2 of them every day. That's their kind of quote they like to go by. Each of our sites has a principal, 2 resident teachers that either live on site or commute to site every day, an office staff, clinic staff, kitchen staff, facility staff, most of who live on site. So it's kind of that they're a big family and a big group that live and work together. I don't know if there is a typical day at Outdoor Lab. They spend a lot of time working with students like you would at any school with behavior issues or just the stories that go on with the kids or management of classes. And then they have the weather, they have everything to deal with up there. They can set out with a plan of teaching a class and then overnight 3 feet of snow dump on them and they have to replan the whole schedule. So I think we look for a typical day, which is they're gonna work with students, they're teaching with students, supporting our high school leaders, training them, working with the teachers that come up, and preparing for the next few weeks that are coming. So we're always looking, our site staff are always looking at least 3 weeks out for who's coming and really working closely with the 6th grade teachers and the principals and the staff at their schools. So that way when the kids get up there, they're ready for them. They're ready to go.
Couple things that stuck out to me when I went up there, because I've gone and visited both sites, obviously. First of all, is just the immense coordination and integration that they have to do on a daily basis to make sure that those kids have a great experience and it's kind of seamless. Both principals, Rob and David, they are really creatures of opportunity. I mean, they see the woods or they see a trail and they see an opportunity for a student to learn something about their environment. And I thought that was really neat to walk around and listen to them verbalize, well, here's how we're going to use this piece. Or, the rock fell at Mount Evans. Hey, here's what we could do with this. They do a good job of that. And I think that's really impressive.
The day-to-day, the schedules, the how's this going to work, the, who's off, we have college and high school interns and they have responsibilities down in town and just different things like that. But at the end of the day, the goal for our entire staff is that every student that goes up there has a great opportunity, has a great experience, and we're going to do whatever we can to help them, recognizing that every student needs something different by the end of the week. Right. And that we have to be aware and open to that and always be flexible and always be ready to jump in and do whatever it takes to make sure that each student is leaving the week with a good experience.
Great segue, because my question is, when you think about the students, what kind of reaction do you get from them after they've gone through a week at Windy Peak or Mount Evans?
It's a really tough question to answer because I think it's different for every student.
Right.
As a teacher, I had students that were terrified to be away from home for the first time, which we would always say, what a better opportunity. You're with teachers that you're with a group of kids that best opportunity to be be away from home. Those students that struggle behavior-wise, and as a teacher, you're worried what's going to happen, and then you see them in a different light. So I think every student comes away a little bit different. Overall, I think students come down a little bit more confident, a little bit in tune with themselves. I think nowadays, with social media, with TV, with video games, with everything, there's not a lot of quiet time for kids to really think and really just reflect and look back on, think about who they are, what they want to do, or how they affect the world. At Outdoor Lab, they have a whole week of that, where they're not distracted by something popping up. They're not on their phones. They're not, doing anything. They're just with each other. They're having conversations. They really have a quiet time to reflect and think of who they are, what they want to do, and have these high school mentors and these college, staff that's up there that is just all about them having a good time. So I think that's most important. Visiting the sites, I had one student, we're walking, if you've been to Winnie Peak, you have to walk up a really long hill to get up to the flag. So I was walking with a girl, and she told me, she's like, I have waited 7 years for this. I asked her, I'm like, what are you looking the most forward to? She says, all of it. She's like, 7 years, I've looked forward to all of it. And I was thinking, how often, we're all about instant gratification now. We get things. Things are so easily accessible. And that this little 12-year-old that has waited 7 years for this, and that she was just bursting because she was so excited with it. I think it's the kids come away at our schools. We do a great job with community and building community within our elementary schools, our high schools. You just constantly see it. At Outdoor Lab, it's that again, building that community feeling and welcoming these people in and giving them that sense that they hopefully can take back with them and realize how they felt there, they want to feel in any aspect of their life.
Well, and I think that's really unique that you've had the experience of being a student there, of being a high school leader there, of being a sixth grade teacher whose classes went there, and now in the role you're in. I think you probably have the best picture of what is the experience we want these kids to have when they leave from here, and how can I as a teacher make sure that that's going to happen for kids. So I think that's really neat. What's the best part of your job?
I think it would sum up into seeing growth in people. Whether it starts, as a teacher, I always thought with my sixth graders, and you would hear from their parents and afterwards, and there's that obvious growth with the sixth graders going up. I'm in this position, working with teachers. I have a lot of new teachers and a lot of, teams that maybe all of them are going up to Outdoor Lab for the first time or planning it for the first time, and they, have so much on their plate already with testing and conferences and grading and planning and all of that, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm asking them to put more in and do more. And plan these things. So working with them, but then being able to go and visit them while they're up there or talk to them when they got back, and they're like, I get it. I get how important this is. It's a lot of work for teachers going up there, but we have so many dedicated teachers that leave their families for a week and leave all there and do extra work that they see it there, as well as working with our high school students and our interns. I think that's not having my own classroom and being able to see them figure it out and be able to put themselves second and put all these kids first and really problem solve and learn to communicate and ask for help, and just the growth that they see, whether it's the high school leaders in a week that, I get to go visit some that were former students of mine, be able to see them in that role, which is, as a sixth grader, you're driving me crazy, and then you're up here and you're just phenomenal. Or they're talking about the kid that's driving them crazy, and they're like, I probably did that to you. And yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
As well as their interns each week, just learning and growing and figuring out how they make a difference in the world and where they fit.
What's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this interview about Jeffco's Outdoor Lab schools?
I think everyone I talk to, so I'll meet someone at the grocery store, I'll meet someone at the hair salon, I'll run into someone at the park that says, oh, I went to Outdoor Lab. They can tell you what their favorite experience was, what bunkhouse they lived in. They can remember all these details. So with our 6G anniversary, we've had 350,000 alumni go through. And I'm looking forward to the next 60 years of, closer to 500,000 students that will go through the program, and what we're able to do for them with the different opportunities we're going to have with the facilities plans and how the facilities will change and improve. The Outdoor Lab itself, its core, hasn't changed much. You can look at old pictures and the impact on the environment is small, but the impact on students is continuing to grow as we progress with them. And just our mission statement is to help students develop stewardship of themselves, their community, and their environment. And really asking students to reflect on each week the attributes of integrity, commitment, awareness, respect, and empathy. And our hope is that they take those feelings and that magic that we call it is Outdoor Lab, and they bring it down back home, and they can apply it in their lives wherever they go.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come visit with us about Outdoor Lab. It's been a pleasure and very appreciative of the work that you do every single day on behalf of our students here in Jeffco. That's going to wrap up our latest edition. If you haven't already, we hope you'll consider subscribing on either iTunes or JPS-TV so you won't miss any of our great podcast content. Until next time.
This has been Building Bright Futures, a Jeffco podcast with Jeffco Superintendent Dan McMenemy. This is a production of Jeffco Public Schools.